Hello, my beautiful sisters. Welcome to another day at the Startup Herpreneurs. And today we have Suzanne Adams. Suzanne, say hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And Susanna Adams, I gotta mention, I met her at a Woman Expo more like 2 years ago, and she had written this amazing book called Musings of an Earth Angel. She was talking about becoming a leader and writing your book and getting your intuition out, and I was like, oh my God, like she was amazing. So I just had to get her on here today with us, and she has been on everything you could possibly imagine. NBC, the CW, the Fox, Hay House World Summits, and maybe a week or two ago, she was even on TEDx. She's all about creating a powerful ripple of inspiration and positivity, and she is the co-creator of and the CEO, for that matter, of Ignite and Expand. First off, love that name. And in the next few months, you told me, if I remember correctly, right before this, we were talking about her leadership summit in West Palm Beach, which we will talk more about at the end. So stay tuned. So Suzanne, tell us more about your story. What's your background and where are you now?
Yeah, so I spent the first 30 years of my life really searching. I was searching for a feeling, trying to be filled up, searching for purpose and feeling desired and appreciated. And I was really searching in all the wrong places, through nightclubs, through romantic relationships, through the validation and opinions of others. And I got to a space in my life where it felt like nothing was working out. And I was feeling very unfulfilled and spiraled into a depression. And I remember getting into this space where I would wait every day until 5 o'clock because I felt like that's when I could have a glass of wine to take the edge off. And the thing is it didn't even seem abnormal, like, to do that because, in society, so many people are just grabbing a glass of wine or grabbing their numbing of choice. And I remember this one specific day as I was sitting there waiting, like all of a sudden, I burst into tears and I started having this like inner knowing, like this was not the path for me. There had to be more. And it was like this feeling in the pit of my stomach, just telling me there had to be more. There had to be more. So I'm sure whoever's listening, you guys, there's some of you that can relate maybe now or maybe in the past, but that was a pivotal turning point for me because it made me start to, for the first time, to connect to my heart and my intuition and listen to my inner guidance system. And it activated me to start to search, and the discomfort I was feeling in my intuition led me on a trajectory to study joy and purpose and learn about frequency and energy and self-love. And, it just was like, this whole thing like happened very, very quickly. And so it was like I finally felt alive and lit up from the inside out. And I started, now I'm realizing that energy is actually a piece of quantum physics, which is what I talk about in my TED Talk. But it's also a piece of leadership, is understanding energy and intuition and how to use it in your body and how you can truly create anything you desire by tapping into these tools and principles that are available to all of us. So as I learned to harness my energy and my intuition and align with my purpose, things just started really opening up for me. I wrote a best-selling book. I was the speaker for Hay House right out of the gates. I started to create experiences and retreats and events that were going to help people to heal and to release and to really connect to their own intuition and their own power. And, here we are, gosh, 5 years later. And now I'm, the CEO of a 7-figure brand. I am speaking on stages that I once only dreamed about. I am inspiring thousands to their highest truth. And it's all because I said yes, even when it felt scary. It's all because I shut out the outside world and everyone telling me I couldn't and what was I doing and I was crazy, and really went within and started to cultivate the power that lives in my heart that we all have.
Wow, crazy. So you're a best-selling author and you have been on TEDx and you've been on Hay House. It's amazing, your story and how you went from drinking after 5 p.m. to really just being like, okay, spiritual awakening over here is amazing. Yeah. Now, I know that you have mentioned before to me that you have a 7-figure brand. And it takes a lot to have a 7-figure brand. So I want to know, how long did it take you to get there and what's it like to be there?
Well, it feels good. And, it's we all are in our heads, a little bit with this, right? Like when you want to get to six figures, you get to six figures. And then you're like, well, how can I get to the multiple six figures? And then you're like, how can I get to seven figures? And now I'm like, how can I get to multiple seven figures? You know? So it's like, thank you for that question, because you're reminding me to just sit in the success that I've created for a moment and be in it and acknowledge it. And, you know, that's sometimes when we're really go-getters, all we want to do is get to the next thing. So thank you for that. And I'll just go ahead and acknowledge myself and acknowledge you and every single person listening, because here's the thing is I tried to do this in the beginning on my own. Like I tried to figure it all out. I did a lot on my own. And then I realized, like, if I really wanted to have the impact and make the income that I desired, that I was going to need help. And that's when I really realized the power of mastermind programs with the right mentors and getting in the space of people that have done the things I wanted to do and created the lifestyle and the businesses and the impact that I wanted to create, and learn from them and shorten the trajectory. And I've done that a lot, because otherwise it's like we're just going to spin our own wheels. And I'm not saying that the process is the same for everyone, because it's not. And that's where using your intuition or working with an intuitive coach is so powerful, because, like, for example, with my clients, sometimes I'm able to take them in to see 4 steps ahead of where they were able to see themselves, simply by using my intuition to guide them to connect with their intuition, and having them meet with a solution that's grounded, but also, you know, coming from intuitive guidance. And so sitting in the space of success, it feels really amazing. You know, I was in Mexico in January at this beautiful mansion that was like had a pool and overlooked the ocean. And we were hosting our high level Ignite and Expand mastermind group. And I was just sitting there like beaming, because I'm even getting almost emotional thinking about it, because all these women were coming in for this powerful sacred transformation, and they had said yes. And for me to be able to be the person to really help them have their big breakthroughs the way that I have had big breakthroughs, it was just a dream come true, and felt really, really, really amazing and soul nourishing.
Wow. I'm like awe-inspired by you. And your energy, I gotta mention, is amazing, even through the computer, which says a lot. And you mentioned a lot about intuition. And just in case, if anyone isn't familiar with their intuition, I'd like to tap into it. Say the word that I use. Okay, cool. So I'd like to tap into our intuition gifts and really show them how to do that and what is intuition for just a split second.
Yeah, so intuition can mean a lot of different things, right? To me, it means guidance, it means safety, it means connection, it means love, and it means magic, right? And so we all have an inner guidance system. It can be whatever you think it is. I personally believe that we all have a divine team that guides us, but you don't even have to connect to that to connect to your intuition. You can just simply connect to your heart and your soul. And even just putting your hands on your heart, like as I'm doing this, you start to feel the energy expand, right? And it's about going within and stopping all of the outer noise, right? So what makes me unique is I have a very successful corporate background, and I also am extremely intuitive in pretty much every arena that you can be intuitive in. And so, intuition is like playing the piano. Some people can just sit down and like play by ear. Some people need a few lessons to learn how, and then some people it might take a few years. But what you want to do if you want to activate your intuition is commit to a meditation practice. So I'll challenge everyone that's watching or listening to connect to at least a 30-day meditation practice. And I'm actually going to give an opportunity for you guys to download one of my meditations for free, and you can just sit with it and be guided and just be in that space. And that's really where the connection starts. And that's really where you start to shift and upgrade your energy. And what that means is, like matches like. So when you open up your energy and you feel good, you attract better circumstances, and you attract more abundance, and you attract better opportunities when you can be in that energy and be connected to that power that's available to all of us.
Wow, that's amazing. And so we have these intuitive gifts. We can use them whether it's, straight off like the piano, one-time thing, or every once in a while. So it's different for each person, correct? All right, perfect. So how does that, well, first off, I also know that you are strategic and you're very grounded. How does that work with intuition?
Well, it's about being very intentional, because, we're all grounded beings, but when you start to connect to your intuition and start to want to play with energy, sometimes it's easy to live up in the ethers is the easiest way to say it. So we're not in our bodies, we're not really focusing. All our ideas are up here and they're not coming forth in, in reality. And so it's about really anchoring down into the ground. It's about owning your space and owning who you are, and getting in a space and place with people that will help you do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So some tips to help you anchor is to get near the right people. What else?
Get near the right people. Get at nature. Take your shoes off. Go walk on the beach if you live near a beach. Put your feet in the grass. Take a salt bath. Even just like touching your body, like yoga, moving energy around in your body. Daily meditation also helps you to feel grounded. Even just visualizing roots coming from your tailbone and your feet, and just imagine them like growing deep down into the earth, and then I'll just anchor you down, because like we're human beings and we've got to be human to really create what it is that we desire, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a friend that she calls herself the ET guru, and I feel like she's very like woo woo up here, and I love woo woo. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, come down a little bit, come down.
Totally. A lot of very intuitive people haven't grasped that yet. And so, I mean, certainly there's several that have, but, sometimes, especially when in the beginning, I remember when I was in the beginning of it, I was just wanting to play in this new energy. And I realized, like, I could sit on my meditation pillow all day long and play in the ethers, but nothing's ever going to get done. Right. And so it's about taking that time to connect, and then pulling that energy into your body and really receiving it. And then also taking the guided action that you're receiving from your intuition and your inner guidance system.
Yes, that was good. That was good. I want to like rewind, repeat. That was really good. So I'm going to come back a little bit now that we talked about intuition, in case anybody was lost or they had any questions on that. But I know people are going to have questions on the seven-figure brand, because they're like, wait, come back. So what does it take to be a seven-figure brand and person, for that matter?
I love that you said, what does it take to be? Because it is about who you're being and how you're being, right? And so, again, this is one of the things that myself and my business partner are really good about, is helping clients to really expand their energy and activate their energy so that they can be a match for, double, tripling, quadrupling their income. So being a seven-figure brand is about saying yes. It's about creating multiple revenue streams that are in line with your mission and your purpose. Because when you get in line with what you're born to do, miracles happen. Don't get caught in the trap of thinking you don't know your purpose, because just follow your joy, follow your heart, follow your story, and you can create that. It's about failing. It's about letting yourself fail and not beating yourself up, because if you're not failing, you're not trying and you're not showing up. And it's really about saying yes, at getting yourself into the space of how would I be acting if this already was, and embodying that and doing the things a seven-figure entrepreneur would be doing even before you're a seven-figure brand. I'm not saying go into debt, spending money, doing all kinds of things, right? But what I am saying is that when you set a proper intention, if that's your goal to get to seven figures, or honestly, even just to get to six figures or multiple six figures, you have to get into a space of, if you're at zero, don't be like, I'm going to be a seven-figure entrepreneur tomorrow. Always open up for miracles, right? But if you're at zero, try to get to the 100,000 first, then try to get to 300,000. And then you can start to quantum like that, because you've got to start from somewhere. Get a coach. We have a million programs that help people really step in. And, I have one client that when she first came to me, she was at $2,500 was her highest income month. Then she went to an $8,000 month, and then a $12,000 month, and then a $16,000 month. And then she was consistent. So 12 months later, she just told me, she's been working with me ever since. She just told me she had a $28,000 month. So in 1 year, she went from her highest month being $2,500 to $28,000. And there's been consistent upgrades the whole way, right? So we're able to really help clients double, triple, quadruple their income. We have some clients creating six-figure months consistently. And the thing is this is all real, but you've got to show up. You've got to put the work in, and you've really got to start to say yes.
So what is something that can stop someone from really getting to a seven-figure brand?
Mindset. not believing in themselves, not believing in their gifts, not showing up for their clients the way that they could, talking themselves out of, like, for example, at our Ignite and Expand Palm Beach Leadership Summit, like what we do there is sacred, it's powerful, it's energy expansion, it's wealth consciousness upgrades, it's high vibe community. We do a cacao ceremony, we give you amazing content. There's so many people that want to come, but then they're like, I can't do that because I don't have the money, or I can't have the time, right? The 7-figure entrepreneur freaking figures it out if they feel the call, whether it's to come to our event or someone else's event, or something that you are really feeling desire to go to. But what could keep you from getting there is letting your mind tell you it's not possible, letting your mind say you're never going to be there, and then not taking the action and not getting in the spaces and places that you know are going to help you, not showing up because no one's coming on your lives, thinking that there aren't people that want to pay you, thinking that all the potential clients you talk to don't have money. That's crap, right? If you're listening to this right now, there are people waiting to pay you, and you've got to get into that space, embody that energy, align with that energy, and then create a strategy where you can show up and get into the spaces and places where your ideal clients that are praying for you and that are excited to pay you and that have the money to pay you can show up for you.
And you mentioned something earlier that really caught my attention, which was you have multiple streams of income, and that's really important to become a 7-figure brand. So I want to know, what are your multiple streams of incomes to kind of have like an idea? And is there a type of order that we should go through? So it's not like, go for all of them at once.
Right. This is where you need strategy and mentorship to help you figure this out. I didn't figure this out on my own, right? And I don't expect anyone else to. I had someone guiding me and saying, like, what about this? Or have you tried this? And so we have a high level Ignite and Expand mastermind program. And this is a $30,000 program. Like, that's obviously an amazing revenue stream. It's a 12-month program. And we deep dive. So when I was talking about Mexico, we were in Malibu in a mansion on the hills in August. We do a special thing right before our Palm Beach event with them. And that's our highest level program, right? We have a $7,000 program online helping entrepreneurs, heart-centered entrepreneurs, to create consistent $10,000 and $20,000 months, and it's giving a breakdown of everything that we ever did, right? We have all of our events, right? Events that are Ignite and Expand Palm Beach right now, we're selling it for $647. It's the normal price is $1,300, so that's a lower price point thing. But you get the entire 3-day event, a luxury lunch, a high vibe community, like everyone is like, okay, I like more than got my money's worth when they come to this thing. And because it's so powerful. I've watched a lot of my clients have success with in person because too many of us are hiding behind our computers. And there's something about in-person connection when you can give someone a hug, and we get in the story of no one's going to show up. I remember when I first started, I was like, no one's going to show up if I have a workshop, or if I do a talk, no one's going to show up. And my very first talk I did, I think I had 12 people there, and it was because one girl brought 8 people. Seriously, that was why I had 12 people. And I showed up, but you know what? It was me learning, right? And then the next one, I had 24 people. And then the next one, I had 46 people. And then the next one sold out at 60 people, right? Now I'm doing events with 300 and 400 people. So it's like, you just got to show up and just get going and start to tune into what it is that you desire to serve and all of the different ways. So you can have so many revenue streams. You can do membership sites, right? So it's also about having a strategic plan. So it's not like all over the board, because you're right, you can't do it all at once. So what's going to be the biggest needle mover in your business, and what's going to be the short-term gain and the long-term gain? Like, how can we get you money right away and get you serving right away? And then how can we put some things in play to really set you up for long-term success?
That was like, yes. I don't even have another question for that one. So that was amazing. And you really gave me the stepping process. So really you started off with mastermind. I'm guessing that you want to start off with getting that. What is that big thing that you want to accomplish? And then you start from there and really move backwards.
Well, it depends where you are in your business. So like for me, a mastermind works because I've done a lot of the things that a lot of people want to do. So people are willing to pay for a $30,000 program. right? Plus it's me and my business partner. So you get 2 coaches for that, right? And that's limited. Like there's a certain, that's capped where we cap the group at a certain amount and you have to apply. It's got to be the right fit. So for someone just getting started, you want to start to think about creating a VIP package. This is what I love to help people with. And we go through this in our programs. Like, how can you create a VIP package where you really shore up your services, and it's a $5,000 package or $8,000 package or $3,000 package, depending where you are. Because sometimes you've got to sell your first $3,000 package or $5,000 package or $15,000 package to start to embody that. And then it gets easier, and then you can start to see, okay, I'm getting these results for this client. What if I created this into a group thing? Or maybe you just love the one-on-ones and you do higher tickets, or, there's so many things so it's not just a one and done or a cookie cutter for anyone. It's really about where you've had success, where you're feeling called to serve, and what, where you're at in the line of your business for what you're ready for.
Perfect. So I know that we talked about the importance of leadership in having a brand, in having anywhere that you are in a business. So why is leadership important, and what can that do for someone?
So I believe that we're living in a time where we're truly evolving as a species, right? And if you're watching this, you are being called to stand in your power and to connect to the light and connect to your heart. And being a leader means that you've got to own your truth, and you've got to own your gifts, and you've got to boldly move forward, embodying what it is that you came here to do. Because as leaders, you can be a leader in any role. We have support leaders on our team that are just simply supporting our business, but they're leaders in doing that. So I want to be clear that you can be a leader in anything, but it's about confidently and boldly showing up for your zone of genius. It's about embodying who you really are and getting rid of all the negative chitter chatter that our cute, silly little minds like to tell us about, that we're not good enough, and really, really saying yes to what you're being called to do in a powerful way.
How do you tap into those leadership skills when you're not, let's say someone isn't confident?
Then you've got to get into a space that's going to help you to embody that confidence. And this is exactly what we do at the Ignite and Expand Leadership Conference. Is there's a way that, have you ever been in someone's space and all of a sudden you're like, I just feel amazing? And you kind of mentioned you experienced it with me a little.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago. And so like one of my gifts in my zone of genius is being able to hold a certain energy that helps to activate something deep within you that says, here I am, I can do it, right? And so I do that. There are other people that do that. And if you can find that person and really get into the energy of it, again, that's the power of in-person events and the right mentors, is when someone can see that for you, it helps you to embody it. And especially when you're in a room with a few hundred other people that are all, activating that within themselves and within each other, it's a powerful thing, because you can just say, all right, I'm leaving this version of me behind and I'm moving forward. We call it getting into the jet stream, getting in the jet stream of miracles and magic, getting into the jet stream of your truth, and really embodying your power and your purpose, and doing so in a way where you can create a really thriving, profitable business.
So the main tip and skill for you to get when it comes to really becoming a leader and really getting confident is to get near, like John, just getting near people again, getting near people that you are into and you feel they are leaders.
That inspire you and that help you to embody the power that you want to embody, that your heart is telling you, like, girl, I know you can do this.
Yes. Okay. And that's your intuition speaking again. So we came back to that.
Yeah.
So really the main 3 things that we've talked about today is intuition, leadership, and creating a 7-figure brand. Is there something else that is missing or part of this equation? Because like so far it's leadership plus intuition equals 7-figure brand. That's what I've gotten. And multiple streams of income.
Definitely. And then the big thing I would add is saying yes, because that's the number one thing that holds people back is making excuses, hiding behind their phones and cameras and scrolling on social media, looking at like, oh, that looks interesting, but never saying yes, or inquiring but saying I don't have the money, I can't. So saying yes and letting go of excuses is the other thing I would add to that, because there's so many people that have endless opportunities available to them to start creating a life. Like I'm here in California right now. I'm deciding I'm about to go bi-coastal. I live in Atlanta, and I'm looking at the ocean right now in Laguna Beach, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I was sitting on the beach yesterday, and I'm like getting teary-eyed again, because I can just go wherever I want to. And I just need my laptop, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, I need to show up for the speaking events I'm signed up, I'm committed to, and my own events. But other than that, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. And even those events are really powerful and soul fueling for me. So I just want everyone to know that I would not have gotten here if I had not have just boldly just said, like, hell yeah, F it, let's go, and moved forward. And so I'm not saying it's always easy, because it's not. And I'm not saying that everything is going to be perfect, but you got to try, you've got to show up, you've got to put yourself out there. And if you do that from the space of service, there's no way you can fail.
Beautiful. All right. So I've come down to my last two questions, which everyone should know by now in the summit, is what's one action step that someone can take today to really hone into their intuition, their leadership, and create that 7-figure brand little by little?
One action step. I think I kind of just said it by saying yes. I want to come back to the 30-day meditation challenge. And that I know you're about to ask me about the free gift too, so I'll just go ahead and say activate your intuition is that you can grab the link right now, download it, do it every day for 30 days, and you're going to see massive shifts. And the last thing I'll say is I would love to personally invite each and every one of you to join us in Palm Beach, Florida for our Ignite and Expand Leadership Summit. We've got I think we've got about 30 tickets left before we sell out. And so if you guys are interested, join us. We have so many soulful leaders. We have women and men coming. Think gorgeous ocean views, energy activations, wealth consciousness upgrades, sound baths, cacao ceremonies, and really everything you need to embody your next level, so you can be a match for what it is that you want to receive from an abundance standpoint, from a career standpoint, and just from feeling joyful and alive.
What's the date that the Palm Beach retreat?
April 25th. So it's arrival April 25th, and then we do that Thursday. We start Thursday evening, go Friday, Saturday, and then you can leave at your convenience on Sunday. We have a discounted room rate at the resort that we're doing at, which is a 5-star, like Forbes rated property. It is so gorgeous and so amazing. And a lot of the people that are coming are getting in the Facebook group and pairing up, finding roommates with each other. So that helps to cut down on the cost of that. But it is such an amazing experience. And this is one of the most fulfilling things that I do, because we're able to do so much work, energetic, like up levels, and, just really taking everyone to the next level. And I love seeing all the success stories that start coming in, like even just a few days after the event, of people like creating their own events, landing their own big speaking gigs, doubling their income, all of this stuff happening from saying yes to this one event. It really creates a beautiful ripple effect.
Wow. So say yes. And don't forget the meditation that Suzanne has for you. And please follow her on everything you could possibly think of, Facebook, Instagram. She is an inspiration, literally inspirational. So thank you, Suzanne, for being here today. I couldn't have asked for a better interview, or a better interviewee for that matter. And I'm very just treasured to have you here today. And
you are so welcome. And thank you. And everybody, go out and follow your heart and claim your dreams.
Yeah, say yes.
Yes.
Right, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.